Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness. You can see that I'm not home. I'm upstate right now in my hotel room. Oh my goodness. And I just got off a phone call so I just had to like race over. It's been a crazy Sunday morning for me, but hey, it's the full moon in Capricorn today. We have a lot of other energies that are happening today. So you may be feeling it too, this big shift. Good morning to everybody. I hope you're having an amazing weekend. Thanks so much for being here and spend some time too. That is something that I think I mentioned that. I think I mention it every live stream. Let's spend time in nature. I was going to do this live stream outside, but there's just still so many people around. I think that I didn't want to like disrupt them, but it's so beautiful outside right now. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for being here. Denise, you're early. Thanks for being early. Jean, hello, Las Vegas. I know it's really out there. I hope that you're staying cool. August, by the way, really big month, and it's a very important month. And I want you to know that this is a month where you're going to start feeling a big shift. So that may be actually like the caption that I use for the thumbnail. I still have to do those too for your monthly forecast. They're all done, and I might paste them out to give some of y'all some early. Maybe post some on Monday, some on Tuesday, some on Wednesday, just so you get at least your rising, at least your moon, or your sun sign before the other ones. I have to figure that out. But anyway, August is going to be a different month. Is anybody feeling it already? Let me know in the comments if you're feeling it. So August is definitely going to be a huge shift. It's possibly the biggest shift energetically of the year. I've been feeling that. I even mentioned it I think in your 2024 forecast. You're going to start feeling this shift in August. And don't forget, I also have another live stream that I set up for y'all on just the next 6 months, because August to December, very different from the first 6 months of 2024. The last 6 months, you're going to feel a squeeze and you're going to feel this shift. I would say it's the biggest shift of 2024, like I said already, but it is going to be one that is significant, and you're going to feel maybe a lot of pivots. And I'm going to go through first the best days to look forward to in August. So August, yes, there are some significant opposition, significant squares that is happening during a lot of retrogrades. You're going to feel a shift. With that said, there are still amazing aspects to look forward to, some that are really potent. And so that's why I say you're going to feel a shift, because of these specific aspects. It's almost like you're going to reach a point where you're like, okay, I need to change this about me, or I need to change this about my life, or an area of my life. Every side is going to feel it differently. So let's get started. Why? Okay, so let me pull up my notes. Everyone doing all right, by the way? Everyone doing good? Happy full moon. Yes, today is the full moon. I tried to capture it last night. It's cloudy here, and I'm upstate New York in the Catskills. I was really, really looking forward to seeing the full moon basking in its glory. Actually, what time? The full moon happened around 6 a.m. this morning officially. But I was asleep. I tried to catch it last night, hopefully. And it's a potent one. We know it's a full moon in Capricorn, 29 degrees. We know Venus will be sextiling Jupiter. There's so much happening. Mars trining Pluto, the full moon conjuncting Pluto. So just know you are already feeling a shift. You are already going through this major transformation in your life. The biggest takeaway, because there's so much happening during this full moon at 29 degrees, we're doing a closeout here. and I've talked about this in your weekly readings and your monthly forecast. This is significant. The reason why it's significant is because we're so Pluto is in Aquarius. It's going to retrograde. It's going to move back into Capricorn September to November. And then that's it. And so to really sum that up, there is this 13-year cycle that you're ending. Okay. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. Remember, see where Capricorn is in your chart. See, you've got your readings. You got your readings. So, but let's talk about August. Let's talk about August. The first day that I want you to mark in your calendars, August 4th. It is a loaded day. And as always in these live streams, I try to avoid repeating the things I say in your monthly forecasts. And they're long, of course, they're long. They're some longer than normal, some longer than normal. A lot of signs will be going through really big changes. And this is pretty much a guarantee. This is August. Again, a lot of y'all may be feeling it. You may be feeling it already. We've got some really potent things happening. And then August is when you have some big moments of clarity in terms of, okay, like I said earlier, this is a part of my life that I'm going to change. I feel that this no longer serves me well. A lot of that going to happen. Okay. So let me see some of your comments. Yari, happy full moon to you. Denise, you're Gemini with retirement loading. Nice loading. Sally, great to see you. You're just feeling a shift for the better here. That's great. I love that. A lot of y'all are feeling this shift. Star, you asked, is August a good testing month? August 12th. We'll talk about that. We will talk about that. That is a key word for August, by the way. Testing. Ruby. Someone's asking about Ruby. She is right behind me. Oh, wait. Which way can I do this? Do you see her? There she is. She's on the ground. Okay. And whoo. Let's see, Yari, we're definitely no longer in those beautiful May energies anymore. That's why you want to take advantage. That's why I try to encourage you to make these changes and to work with these really beautiful energies that we have gone through. And you're feeling that you're taking them with you into this next cycle that we're about to approach. So the first day that I want you to mark is August 4th. We have a new moon in Leo. This one, 13 degrees. It's an excellent new moon. We've been privileged to have these amazing new moons back to back to back. New moon in Gemini, new moon in Taurus, new moon in Taurus, new moon in Gemini, new moon in Cancer. Now we have this new moon in Leo. The great thing about this new moon in Leo is that Jupiter and Mars will be sextiling the sun and the moon. So this is where you're going to feel it. You're going to feel, I want to achieve this. I want to do this. I'm going to take action. A lot of areas of your life, it could be in terms of creativity, love, relationships. You're just going to feel this charge. Leo is very fiery. This is an excellent new moon. I always say, set intentions, plant those seeds. It's going to be, and of course, every sign is going to feel it differently, depending on your rising, your moon, all of those. You know this. I don't have to say this. Y'all know this. Yari, your Leo rising. Oh, you're going to feel it. This is a great new moon. Now, on the same day, we do have Mercury going retrograde. Okay, so I just want you to keep that in mind. I mentioned this in your weekly forecast. I may have mentioned this recently as well. Mercury went into shadow earlier this week. Obviously, we've been seeing that already with it was that IT power outage. There's been a lot of Mercury. You'll feel those little ripples. This is going to be a little bit potent. The Mercury retrograde that's going to happen on August 4th, pretty much for the entire month. Okay, for the entire month, Mercury's going retrograde. What at 4 degrees here? I mean, this is a potent, and Mercury is going retrograde at Virgo, where it's its domicile and where it's exalted. So it's going to be a strong Mercury retrograde. Again, I talk about this in your monthly forecast. I actually did a Mercury retrograde video as well. If you want to check that out, what to expect, things to avoid doing during Mercury retrograde. I coincidentally made that video, Mercury retrograde video, last year when Mercury was retrograde in Virgo. So things may resonate. Remember, not all Mercury retrogrades, I don't want you to see them as these terrible things. There are so many benefits to it. I think I also in that video said, well, in Mercury retrogrades, people from your past come back out of the blue, people that you haven't seen in a long time. There could be projects that you return to that you maybe got really too busy, something that you had abandoned for a little bit, but it comes up now and you're like, ooh, the book that I was writing, now I'm going to have some time to work on it. But you are going to see that there is going to be this slowdown because Saturn, Neptune, Pluto all stay retrograde throughout August. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And an example that I gave about Mercury retrograde, I think it was 2017, 2018, there was a Mercury retrograde where a former boss who I hadn't talked to in many, many years, like 4 or 5 years, 6 years, sent me an email out of the blue and was starting this new team at a prestigious company and asked me to join. And so that is what I'm talking about. There are benefits to Mercury retrograde. So don't move into it thinking, oh my goodness, like all the typical Mercury retrograde things that happen will happen, like miscommunications, travel delays, etc. But again, as long as you are mentally prepared, those are easier for you. And again, I've said this many times. I personally have traveled during Mercury retrogrades, nothing, without a hitch. So everyone's affected differently. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Now, the other thing is on that same day, Venus will go into Virgo. This is going to be important because with all these retrogrades, remember, it's a time to reassess, reevaluate, rethink. And so this is part of your shift. You're going to be reassessing a lot of areas of your life and how you want to change them. And am I in the right place? Am I on the right path? Or if I am on the right path, what are some other great things that I want to bring in to make it more joyful? It's going to be a time to reflect as well. And you may feel that in a big way. Now, August 7th, please mark this in your calendar. The sun will sextile Jupiter. This is going to be very important. Very, very important because I think that I mentioned, is it this week? I have to look at my calendar. It is this week when we do have another Jupiter sextile. And so this week, there may be some actions you take or even areas of your life. You may feel a stronger emphasis moving until we reach August 7th. That one's at 16 degrees. It's a beautiful aspect. We're talking about the sun and Jupiter, the planet of good fortune, prosperity, good luck, expansion. So things are about to grow in your life in this beautiful way. Remember the sun bringing that spotlight, vitality, the sun, that life force. So it's going to feel really great. Mark that in your calendar. Another day. This is possibly the biggest aspect of the month that is you will feel in terms of growth and expansion is August 14th when Mars conjuncts Jupiter. That is major. You know, the conjunctions are very powerful. They're very powerful. Now, if you are a Gemini rising, any of y'all, this is happening in Gemini. So Denise, you're definitely going to feel this. Remember, Mars and Jupiter are both in Gemini. So Geminis, Gemini risings, y'all are going to feel this, but everyone is going to feel this. Everyone's going to feel this in a different area of your life. And again, I talk about this in your monthly forecast. I want to get them out to you sooner than later. So I'll try to start posting them tomorrow. They're long. But this is such a powerful aspect. You may feel the energies up to a week before. You may feel them a week later. You may feel them within the entire month. It's right in the middle of the month. Mars conjuncting Mars's drive. It's that ambition. It's that power. with Jupiter, growth, expansion, good fortune, good luck. So this is what I definitely want you to keep your eyes on, and I really want you to take action because that's what Mars wants. Mars wants you to take action, okay? Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, so we're going to feel, you're going to see how now some of the aspects that are the best aspects of the month, we're going to move, we're going to skip the middle of the month. We're going to go straight to the end of the month. We're going to August 27th. Venus trining Uranus. You know, Uranus is all about surprises and the unexpected. Venus, your heart, what your heart desires. It's love, it's relationships, it's money, it's creativity, harmony, beauty, all those beautiful things that Venus represents. So you could find this, my friend Josh, you could see unexpected moments in these areas of your life, surprising moments. This is a very, very special, it's a trine. Trines are very auspicious, as you know. So Uranus is also breakthroughs. So you may see breakthroughs in these areas of your life as well. So definitely mark this in your calendar because just 2 days later, Venus will then trine Pluto. And you know, Pluto is powerful. Pluto is empowerment. Pluto is also, you know, intimacy. There's this level of depth. Remember, there's this intensity with Pluto, and you've got it trining Venus now. So you see the last week, Venus will actually move into Libra this day. We're going to talk about this more in September because we're closing out this month on this really great note. Venus trining Pluto on Thursday, August 29th. This with the fact that and money matters. Remember, Venus is also money, Pluto, money, other people's money. So inheritance, investments, bonuses, commissions, royalties, loans, things like that. We all know what that is now. But Venus will move into Libra on that day. Venus does a lot better in Libra than it does in Virgo because Venus rules Libra, is in her comfort area, okay, in her domicile. And again, because it is happening toward the end of the month, you're going to feel it more in September. But just know this is a lot of Venus activity that's really special, really nice. Any questions so far on the great, beautiful days of August? Irma, you made it. Great to see you. Denise, yes, Ruby did get a haircut. She got her summer haircut. It was getting really hot in New York City. I had to get out of the city a little bit. I think that y'all know that I'm very sensitive to energy. The energies were really wild. And Ruby also still going through her physical therapy, still in a place where she's improving, but it's so hot. If anyone lives in New York City, you know that when the weather gets this hot, it's so hot that the dogs can't walk on the sidewalks. Then you see people carrying their dogs or dogs in strollers. But for Ruby, because she's still going through her physical therapy and improving, she needed a little break as well. So good for Ruby. Good for Ruby. She loves rolling around in the grass. Now, let's talk about the other energies of this month that are going to be part of this shift. And I'm calling this a shift because it really is a shift. It could even be this awakening that a lot of y'all have this month. It is definitely going to be a pivotal month. A lot of y'all will feel a squeeze and possibly even a pivot. Just want to remind you, Mercury will be retrograde with 3 other planets. And the fact that Mercury is retrograde in Virgo for the first 2 weeks of the month, then retrogrades further back into Leo, the second 2 weeks is going to be very different energies. The first half of August, Mercury retrograde in Virgo, you will have a lot of, Virgo is very analytical, right? Detail oriented. It's almost like you being an archaeologist, and there's something beyond, in the ground in Antarctica, wherever you are, and you just keep digging. You're like, I know something. I got to find it. I got to find it. So you may find yourself analyzing a lot of things from the past. We're talking about a retrograde here. Things may resurface, and you really have to get the details here. Now, the second half of the retrograde, Mercury retrograde in Leo, yes, this is when exes could come back from the past. We're talking about Leo. We're talking about love and relationships. It could also be for some of y'all, in my case, it can be for bosses. It could be something that has to do with even family and children, everything that Leo represents. So keep that in mind, that people may resurface, and I energetically am getting a strong feeling of, you will see, like, oh gosh, like faces from the past. Just be mindful of this. When this happens, ask yourself, why was I meant to see this person again? Why this person show up on my newsfeed when I was going through Instagram, or why they liked one of my posts, that someone that I haven't heard from since 20 years. There's always, these are winks from the universe, but it's also retrograde. And if you have any questions about the Mercury retrograde, let me know. So a lot of August is reassessing things where you are in your life, with all the other retrogrades, Saturn also being retrograde. Now, speaking of Saturn, so okay, before we get to Saturn, let me talk about, no, let's just go straight to it. Are you ready for this? Tell me you're ready to hear some news where you're just like, okay, this is going to be a little bit of a squeeze. This is going to be the shift in energies that Jimmy's talking about. Mars will square Saturn August 15th. So Mars will square Saturn mid-month with a bundle of other squares and oppositions. You're going to start feeling a squeeze. Saturn and tested. Saturn is tests. Saturn's restrictions, limitations, the planet of hard knocks. So Saturn's going to start testing everybody mid-month. Okay. And so you always want to remember to keep your frequencies high. This is definitely going to be, and for a lot of y'all, it may be, water off a duck's back. These Saturn squares, like this, Jupiter is also going to square Saturn just a few days later. So both Mars and Jupiter will be squaring Saturn. So for a lot of y'all, this may be something, depending where Saturn is in your chart, what sign you are, you're going to feel tested by Saturn. Okay. Saturn is going to, and that's what Saturn does. Saturn tests you, and this happens every 3 to 4 years. So it's nothing that you haven't gone through before. Remember, Saturn is also karma. You pass Saturn's test, you're going to be rewarded. You get that pot of gold, you get, the juicy fruit, whatever you want, but you're going to be rewarded. That this karma is going to be this karmic test. So Mars and Saturn, Mars squaring Saturn. Let's start with that one. Those are the two malefic planets that's in this really not seeing eye to eye, come at me, bro aspect, where you may feel it for some time. Okay. It could be a week, it could be a few weeks, but remember, some of y'all may feel it's like nothing. You're like, I've gone through Saturn squares. This is nothing. I can handle this. Some of y'all with Jupiter also squaring Saturn. Yes, that's got to be Jupiter's optimism, but Saturn wants discipline. So you may still be able to have some fun, but Saturn's going to say, I want you to focus on this area of your life. Oh, you're not? Okay. Well, I'm going to make things a little bit harder for you. You got to pass Saturn's test. Okay. Remember, Saturn rewards you. You pass the test. Saturn's also retrograde. So this is a time mid-month where you may be asking yourself, what are some limitations that I have to work with? What are some restrictions that I may have put in front of myself? What am I doing to not achieve what I want? Saturn's going to bring some things up for you to test, for you to pass this test. And y'all are great at taking tests. I've seen you all take. You've all passed my test. Y'all are great, and I'm more strict than Saturn. So just know that is going to happen mid-month. Now, one aspect actually that's happening today. So you know that we have the full moon in Capricorn today. It is conjuncting Pluto. We have Mars trine Pluto as well, but Pluto, there can be some revelations. There can be some things brought to the surface, even some secrets. The other thing that's happening today is Mercury will be squaring Uranus. And Uranus is, we just came out of Mars square Uranus. Now Mercury is squaring Uranus, and Mercury is communication, it's news, Mercury's the messenger. So there could be some news that you hear around this time today. Yes, today. That comes out of nowhere. It can also work the other way. If you are really, really vibrating at high frequency, you are definitely manifesting the things that you want to manifest for yourself. It can be breakthroughs. Uranus is breakthroughs. So you could get these breakthrough news, which is really great. Okay. So it, again, depends on your side. Everyone's going to feel it differently. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because we will have Mercury square Uranus again, August 17th. So Mercury squaring Uranus at that time is going to be between Mars square Saturn and Jupiter square Saturn. So keep that in mind. There may be something here that does come up where you get unexpected news. Something comes out of nowhere. Remember, Mercury's also travel. So there could be something, if you are traveling, there may be some, news about a delay, or you could meet a fellow traveler who tells you something that you're like, whoa, I did not know that you also liked blue Kias like me. I don't know. I mean, there's got to be obviously something bigger than that. But again, just think surprising, unexpected, but breakthroughs. You can have a big breakthrough. The reason I say that is because the day after, we will have a Mercury cazimi. That's going to be August 18th. And that's great. That's when Mercury is in the heart of the sun. A huge refresh with Mercury there. So again, you're thinking, you're processing. It's a light bulb moment for you. It's this moment of awareness, a moment of clarity. If there are any puzzle pieces you feel are missing, you find them today. Okay. Now, let's talk about the elephant, the moon in the room. Let's talk about the full moon in the room. Any questions so far? Someone already asked about the full moon that's happening in August. You may have heard about the full moon that's happening in August. No? Okay. Let's we'll talk about that. And then I'll answer questions later. So August 19th, mark this in your calendar. We have a full moon in Aquarius. My sign. I'm an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius sun. This is the day that Jupiter squares Saturn. And remember, we also have Mars square Saturn. We have Mercury square Uranus. We have Venus opposite Saturn. And we have Venus square Jupiter. All at this time. So, is this full moon going to be big? Let me repeat it. Okay, let me repeat what's happening during this full moon in Aquarius. We have Mars square Saturn, Jupiter square Saturn, Venus opposite Saturn. Okay, so we've got 3 planets squaring Saturn at this point. Venus opposite Jupiter. and Mercury square Uranus, all at the time of this full moon in Aquarius. So, as you know, full moons bring things to light. There are things that are coming to light. It's a very bright full moon. Things culminate. There are turning points. There are shifts as well during full moons. So a lot of y'all will maybe possibly feel one chapter of your life closing, a new era beginning, a big shift, like I said earlier. And I don't want you to think that this is, crazy bad full moon. It's just one where there's going to be a lot of planets testing you, okay? Just testing you around this time. And so it is going to be a great time for you to go within and really think about the things that you do need to surrender and let go, okay? There may be there may be a chance that there are some things that just naturally end for you. Things begin for you. With every full moon, it opens the door for its new thing to begin, or just you ascending into this new chapter in your life. But again, there may be a little bit of a squeeze around this full moon. A lot of this full moon is, a lot of y'all may be asking the big questions, because while all these Saturn squares are happening, the Uranus square as well, don't forget, we have 4 planets retrograde. We have Mercury retrograde, Neptune retrograde, which is asking you to be your authentic self. We have Saturn retrograde, okay? Thinking about this big karmic shift you want in your life. And then Pluto retrograde as well. Pluto being in Aquarius, and this is that full moon in Aquarius. And so that is that empowerment energy. So this is going to be a really strong, potent full moon. And I get a lot of questions from y'all too. I know I get a lot of questions from you about world astrology. I don't do world astrology. I'm here. This is I was called to speak to you, to empower you, to inspire you, because you play a role, okay, in what is happening in the world. You play a role, and my job is to get you all to vibrate at this high frequency, okay? The more that you do, the more that you can inspire others, the more that others feel your energy. You know how this works. But yes, I may start talking about what's happening on a collective level this day eventually, but this day, around this time, you may be asking yourself about your role and your role within the collective unconscious, you're even like smaller, okay? Your community, your neighborhood, your city, your family. You just may be thinking about that around this time. Anybody have any questions about this full moon in Aquarius? We'll do a full moon thing. Okay. Well, let's see if we might do. What is that, on a Monday? Yeah. Okay. I'll think about. I'll think. Oh, everybody went quiet. Okay. So, Irma, your Virgo sun and Scorpio, right? Your Virgo sun and rising with Scorpio moon. Well, we are. Okay. So that's what I'm getting to now. Thursday. So a few days after this full moon, we do have, we're moving into Virgo season. So happy birthday, Irma. Happy birthday, Irma. You are definitely going to be reassessing a lot of things in your life. There's got to be a lot of focus on your career as well. You may have some moments thinking about partnerships as well. If you're a Scorpio moon, there throughout August, there may be some moments. Watch for everything that happens with Uranus, by the way. Uranus is still in Taurus in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships, but there's definitely going to be a lot of, everyone's going to be reassessing a lot of things in their life. And it's going to be a good time. And again, use it so you can have a sense of your about moving forward, the direction that you do want to go from this point forward. Saturn, September. And I am going to do another live stream. I think it's scheduled. So bookmark that in 2 weeks when we begin August on the next 6 months, because the next 6 months, like I said, are very different from the first 6 months. The first 6 months of 2024, you were in your convertible, you let your hair down, you had your dog in, or your plant, whatever it is, in the passenger seat. You were listening to Weezer, driving down the PCH. You're having a great time. Things, and now you're gonna feel that shift. Now you're like, oh, I'm getting a little cold. We're moving into fall, and I got to put up the hood of my convertible, and it's getting a little dark, so I got to pay attention now. I got to pay attention to what's happening for the next 6 months. It's got to be different. It's going to be a shift. It's going to be different. Spoiler alert: we are moving into eclipse season again. You know that those are powerful. So we'll talk about that. But again, there are so many great things happening too. I'm very excited to talk about. And those eclipses are not actually bad. They're just game changing. Eclipses change things in your life. They're saying, okay, time to, you're low on fuel in your convertible. You're gonna have to put some gas in your car, but we're going to give you the good gas. Okay, so what else? I don't have my glasses. I actually broke my glasses. Speaking of this week being just, I couldn't, they just broke. I put them on my head, and the, what is it called? This thing? The tentacle? What is the thing on the glasses called? Anyway, it just broke. Okay, so let me see here. I do want you to know, when we move into Virgo season on Thursday, August 22nd, it's going to be very interesting, because on that day, Venus will square Mars. Okay, just be open to compromise. Just be very diplomatic. This is an aspect. Obviously, we like it when Venus and Mars gets along, when they're doing the tango. But this is when they're, they have their arms crossed and they're not looking at each other. They're like, what? So sure, this is, there could be a little bit of a flare up around this time. So that's why I say just be compromising, very diplomatic. We'll talk about this more in your weekly forecast. But the good news is the day after, August 23rd, Mercury will sextile Mars. So you see how there is this interesting pivot. It's almost like something happens on the 22nd when Venus squares Mars, but then you really, it fuels you. It gives you this drive, this passion, especially in terms of communicating, okay, negotiating, peacemaking. So just watch this time. And the reason I'm really putting an emphasis on this, because it's still under the umbrella of that full moon in Aquarius and my sign. Are there any other Aquarians here? Let me know. Okay, so again, every sign is going to feel a little bit of something this month. Now, any questions so far? Did I ask that? Yari, you said you're in New Hampshire. It has been super hot here. Yo, yeah. I think, y'all, I think that we have this moment of, okay, things are cool, but it's going to get hot again next weekend. I like it. I don't mind it. It's just, for Ruby, it's just like, okay. Amy, your birthday is August 12th. Happy birthday, y'all. Let's say happy birthday to Amy. I'm very excited for you. April 12th. Okay. Well, yeah, you are right. You're hugging that Mars conjunct Jupiter. That's absolutely amazing. That's really, really, really nice for you. Okay, that's really great for you. Uh, so you're definitely gonna feel. Everyone's gonna feel a shift. I cannot make that work clear. Everyone's gonna feel a shift. It's gonna be this great shift. This even I would even say a moment of awakening that you may have this month in August. And remember, these Saturn tests, you're gonna pass them. Saturn is gonna have that squeeze, okay, and you're just going to say, squeeze me harder. Squeeze me harder. Is this the best that you can do, Saturn? That's what you're going to do. Okay. You're going to pass this test. And then you come out on the other side and Saturn's like, okay, instead of giving you, $20 million in, Kit Kat bars, I'm going to give you $500 million worth of Kit Kat bars. You're going to love it. Just pass the test. Okay. Marcia, you're Libra and Aquarius rising. That's great. Oh, and then we move into your birthday season. You're going to be thinking about a lot. You're going to be thinking about a lot. I would not be surprised if you really feel you're going to feel this full moon. I mean, if you're Aquarius rising, you're definitely going to feel it. But again, it's just, yes, the energies around it makes me raise an eyebrow. But if you can use it to your advantage, if you are self-aware, if you are really, in touch with your higher mind, you're going to be you're going to know. Yeah, I'm ending this chapter, moving into this. The universe is actually on my side and I'll reap my rewards. Irma, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's so sweet. I'm so glad that you made it too. I really appreciate it. Yari, you asked, could it be past energies relating to career that come back around? Being a Leo rising, it always just ends up. Yeah, of course. Yeah. If you're a Leo rising, yes, 1000%, it could be. It really is going to be. I mean, Mercury. Here's the thing. I want you to think about last year between August to September. It really will most like. I need to see your entire chart, but if you think about August to September of last year, we had Venus in Leo, but Venus retrograde in Leo. So you take that retrograde out, just think about what was happening around that time for you. Okay. That may give you an inkling and an idea of what you might expect around this time. Yari, you said, is it possible to be feeling these shifts already? Absolutely. After Mars conjuncting your 1000%, it all started mid-month. Now you're moving into these new energies, but they're going to be really strong in August. Really strong in August. And I really want to tell you about September, but I'm going to wait until I do the next 6 months. Yeah. August is going to be strong. But then, okay, so like I said, we ended on this wonderful note with Venus trining Uranus. Mercury will officially go direct on August 27th. And then remember, August 29th, Venus trine Pluto. That couldn't be more special. That is such a special aspect that it's so special that I mentioned in every science forecast that I natally have Venus trine Pluto in my birth chart. So I can tell you firsthand that it's pretty special. Y'all look forward to it. It's going to be nice. You're going to end the August on this really wonderful note and move into this wonderful September. And okay, that's pretty much it. Just continue to manifest, continue to vibrate. Listen, I say that all the time. I think I'm going to do another live stream. Oh, that's the other thing. I'll do another live stream like I did. One that is me channeling and more about intuition. I'm so excited. I have that hypnotherapist that's coming on. And I actually So I've known her, gosh, I want to say 2016 since then. She's absolutely amazing. I think she is actually going to do a hypnotherapy session during the live stream. So definitely come for that. That's going to be really great. But she is going to talk about the subconscious and rooting things. She's absolutely amazing. I have someone else on board. I'm really excited to announce soon because remember, I'm going to start doing a lot more guests. I think they're just fun. And then, of course, you get to ask questions as part of it and be part of the conversation. And that really, I'm an Aquarius. We're the humanitarians. I love this. Anybody have any questions for any of the aspects that are happening in August with Mercury retrograde in Virgo also, by the way, and with Venus in Virgo at the same time, and even moving into Virgo season, but a lot of Virgo energy. But the first half with Mercury retrograde in Virgo, a lot of y'all could be reassessing, rethinking, or really just having emphasis on health matters, health, fitness, wellness. That could be highlighted for you. You may be thinking about that. Work as well. A lot of y'all may be reconsidering your daily routines with Mercury retrograde in Virgo. And it could even still be something that you put action toward as soon as we move into Virgo season. But even all month with all this Virgo energy, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I think the biggest thing for the month, I think the biggest takeaway for the month is just be mindful. Everything you're going to start feeling the biggest shift mid-month with Mars. Well, all those Saturn squares. But don't forget, Mars is also conjuncting Jupiter. Mars is action. Mars, Mars really is going to give you, a lot of y'all are going to feel this. It's going to give you that drive, that extra drive. It's almost like getting to the finish line. It's like, when you're on a treadmill and you get that second wind. Some of y'all may feel that. You may feel a little bit of this squeeze, but then I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. Yes. Don't forget Mars's passion. Just continue to hold on to your passions around this time. And a lot of y'all may be rethinking too as well your approach to some of your goals. Again, it is just a big month of reassessing. You're going to see that during the month of August with this retrograde. I may be retrograde as well. It's so funny. Mercury is the ruling planet for Virgo and Gemini. Any Virgo? We've got some Virgos and Geminis in here. So I'm Gemini rising and Virgo moon. So any Mercury retrograde really has a strong impact on me. Okay, so Amy, you're ready for the shift. Sorry, the other side of a Saturn test is a beautiful place to be. Growth. Yes, absolutely. That is what I'm talking about. Is that growth. It's that, feeling that test, you becoming stronger on the other end and you growing. And I talk more about this in your monthly forecast. So with these live streams, I just don't want to repeat a lot of the things that I say, but yes, you're definitely going to grow from this. Saturn, don't forget, is karma. Okay. Saturn's karma rewards you. Marsha, you say it's been a tough few months. There's definitely something I know I need to let go of that happened around the solar eclipse earlier this year. Yes, which we're all still feeling. And don't forget that, y'all, that was a powerful one. The solar eclipse in Aries that happened in April. Yes, yes. I may talk about that in another stream. You're trying to lean into your transformation for sure. Good, great. And you want to do that. You want to lean into your transformation. This is going to be a big month of transformation, but shifts as well. Marsha, also you are the best. Your energy is too positive. Oh my God. Or you're amazing. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I'm here for you. You know I'm here for you. Y'all are amazing. I really do appreciate that. Marsha, thank you so much. Yara, you said Venus retrograde in Leo last year. Gotcha. You definitely remember. Yes. Yeah. A lot of y'all will. And sure, I would say a majority of y'all may feel it in relationships and love. Okay. But of course, everyone's different. Everyone's different. Denise, you're totally feeling it. Everyone's leaning into the transformation. Deep, yes. Listen, this full moon in Capricorn that's happening today I can't even begin to tell you how significant it is. It is extremely significant at 29 degrees, the same time that Neptune is retrograde at 29 degrees. There are so many 29, and remember, there's 30 degrees. Which I'm not going to get too much into it, but there is transformation. There's something that, again, you're maybe feeling the shift now. Moving into August, there is big transformation that's happening in your life. There is big transformation you're seeing happening in the world as well. And we are on the cusp of this new era. Okay, new era. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a live stream. Sure, I'm doing one on what to expect for the next 6 months. I'll do one on what to expect for the next 2 years. When I say we're on the brink of like a new era, everyone's gonna feel a bigger shift, an awakening, a greater awakening that happens in the next few years, but we're entering it. Okay, remember Pluto is in Aquarius, will move back into Capricorn for the next 2 months, but then be in Aquarius fully for what, 20 years. This full moon in Capricorn, 29 degrees. 29 degrees is a critical degree. There's just a closeout. That's what I call it. Through this karmic lens, remember that Capricorn is Saturn ruled. Saturn ruled. So this is a Saturn ruled full moon. You may have already experienced from the last full moon that we had a month ago. There were some themes coming up in your life. You're like, okay, I'm ascending now. This is, closing the back door, opening the front door. Okay. Around this time. It is it's a whopper of a full moon that you're going to feel throughout the week. And with the retrogrades, especially Neptune retrograde. So Pluto leaving Capricorn. Remember, Pluto is conjuncting this full moon. Pluto leaving Capricorn, Neptune leaving Pisces, and these are slow-moving planets, so it's a process, but they're still leaving. And there is some promise that they leave you. This is 13, 14 years. So when I say that there's some, you're going through this big growth, this ascension, but also this full closeout. When I say shift, yes, there is going to be this shift, something ending in your life, something new beginning. All right. So everyone's going through a big shift right now. And it depends on a lot of factors, your sign, your rising sign, your chart, but just embrace it, have this transformation, and feel it and get excited for this new direction that's happening for you. Okay. Michelle, you wrote a children's book last year and just 30 minutes ago asked someone to illustrate it for me. With Mercury retrograde coming, should I wait to get this started? So I always default by saying trust your intuition. Okay, if you're trusting your intuition, it's like you don't even have to ask those questions. Like you will know intuitively, this isn't the right time, or do you know what I mean? Like that's why trusting your intuition, you're listening to your inner voice, you're being in touch with your higher mind. You already know the answer. You already know the answer. If you want to talk about with Mercury retrograde coming up, Mercury is already in shadow, and you've already seen a lot of the effects of Mercury in shadow. It's been in shadow for a week. So that could also give you clues. The main thing is if you do start something during Mercury retrograde, as in sign a contract. Let's say you sign a contract during Mercury retrograde. All it means is there may be some changes that happen. Okay. There may be some changes that happen with that contract. Things were not clear around that time. We're talking about the planet of communication that took an Ambien. It's going to wake up in September and go back over the things like, oh, what? Oh, I signed a contract with what? You know, does that make sense? Like that's what's gonna happen. So it's not. That's why I don't want people to like be afraid of Mercury retrograde. Like you can still do that. You can sign contracts. You can start whatever you want. Just know there's got to be changes. That's why we say it's more beneficial not to do it during these times. Okay, so it's fine, and sometimes it does work out as a blessing for you. I think that I also made another analogy about another job that I had like way back in the past that I took on during Mercury retrograde. With that said, I knew there were going to be changes, and lo and behold, there were changes. And the good news is, once I left and had that experience there, it opened doors to this greater, bigger job that was meant for me. Okay. So always look at the positives of anything you're doing. But yeah, it's just if you want things to go unhitched, do it outside of Mercury retrograde. Just if anything, if you sign anything, start anything during Mercury retrograde, it really is anything communication wise. So that's why I bring up contracts, agreements, those sort of things. Just know there may be changes. There may be changes down the line. Okay. Anyone else, y'all? Anyone else before? I really wanted to do this outside for y'all so y'all can see. Denise said, you're leaving behind habits that no longer serve me for the good. Great. That's amazing. That is what you're supposed to do today. That is what everyone is supposed to do today with this full moon in Capricorn. But also August, you're going to feel some tests. You know what? I'm gonna be with y'all a lot throughout August. Okay, I'm gonna be with y'all a lot. I think that it is a month where I'll do I've got that guest coming on board. We'll do that. That's gonna be really great, especially if you feel like you need more support in terms of going deep. Remember, Pluto is that planet that says, are you going to fear me or are you going to own me? Right? We're talking deep psychological level, even subconscious level, digging things out. That's why I really wanted to have this hypnotherapist come on board and speak about the shadow side and really confronting those and just saying, bye-bye, just get out of here. Get out of here. All right. So y'all, Yari, it's your first live. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope that you know what, maybe I will do this as a parting, brand new free, raise your frequency. I talked about that in my last live stream, and I'll do another one of those more, I got to think of a name. If anybody, if like titling them different, if anyone has any suggestions, I was thinking about that a few days ago. I need to think of a name, maybe like spirituality with Jimmy. I don't know. Who knows? But what I am going to do is I'm going to turn that off. And I'm just going to show you. I'm going to go outside for a second just so you can have a really good glimpse of nature. And I want this to be the last thing that you see before we go. So there you go. And that really, it's really nice, right? Okay. And then actually the last thing that I want you to see is Ruby. Okay, y'all. Well, Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know what? I'll sit this on the bed so you can kind of see the window still, but maybe not. I don't know. You can't even really. Let me see. You might be able to see Ruby. There she is. Where'd you go? Ruby, I don't even know how to. There you go. Ruby, you want to say bye to everybody? You want to say bye to everybody? You do? Okay. So Ruby says bye. She says, have a wonderful weekend. Have your full moon rituals. Let those things go. Okay. This is a turning point, but August is going to be a big turning point. Y'all, thank you so much for being here. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for being members. It means so much to me. And we're gonna do. You say we got some good stuff coming up. So we've got that hypnotherapist next week. I'm gonna do the next 6 months. Tell you what's happening the next 6 months in 2 weeks. Then I'll do another one of those live streams where I'll do some channeling. Tell you what's going on. We'll talk about we'll raise your frequency, and then we'll do this next month. I'm very excited. Y'all are amazing. Okay. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Happy full moon. Okay. Happy full moon. All right. I'll see y'all later. Thank you, y'all. All right. Bye-bye.